What is up, everybody? Jester here, and I'm sure several of you have been wondering, well, Jester, why haven't you made a video in like a month? And to be truthful about this, there's tons of topics I'd like to still cover, but I wasn't having a whole lot of fun. And if you're not going to have fun doing what you do, there's kind of no point. So I kind of wanted to take a little break and maybe make a change. So I got Palworld. These things didn't happen like back to back. I actually did take a couple of weeks off. I watched some new YouTubers, found some really cool stuff, and I played games just for the fun of playing video games. One thing I did do was start a long dark playthrough, and that's going to become part of my Survival Sunday series. That's going to be stream only. Time will be determined, because now that football season's over, well...
Welcome to the Red Kingdom! Yeah!
And I can't even tell you what it means to go to this Super Bowl. 4 out of the last 5, it's insane, but I've been a KC fan my entire life. And if you guys want to see that video, leave me a comment down below, because I'd like to make it. It's not always been peaches and roses like it has been for the last 6 years. But I digress. I'm getting way off topic here. We want to talk about Palworld, and we're not going to talk about Palworld in the same way that most people are talking about it right now, which is, oh my God, the best way to get your base going, top 5 pals to have. I don't want to make that kind of content because I don't want to chase that. What I want to talk about is this game worth your money? And more importantly, is this game worth your time? And the answer is probably. In the first couple of moments after landing in Palworld, I realized this game screamed Fortnite to me, both through the animation style and through the third-person camera that's a little bit offset, kind of like GTA did it. But this isn't where the similarities to other games is going to stop, and we're going to get into all of the games that I've seen in Palworld. The next comparison is going to be the elephant in the room, and that's going to be the comparison to Pokemon. Even though I'm going to make an argument here in a minute that this game is a lot more about a different title than it is Pokemon, there's still enough similarity where people are screaming this is plagiarism and copyright infringement. And I don't think that's actually the case, because they have taken the time to rename everything. None of the creatures I've seen are one-to-one, exactly the same. There's some similarities, but not exactly the same. And I think that's kind of where the comparison stops, because in Pokemon, you capture something, and the only way to level it up is through battling. And that's it. You do nothing else with your Pokemon at that point. In Palworld, you can do so much more. You can actually put them on different assignments at your base, and they will gather different resources for you autonomously. And you can battle with them, change their move sets. The possibilities are endless. This game was in front of Nintendo the entire time, and they failed to make this RPG style. And at that point, they kind of got to have to sit back and go, how did we miss that one? But I guess when you got something as popular as Pokemon, and it just works, I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. In my eyes, there's a game that this pulls more from than Pokemon, and that's going to be Ark Survival Evolved/Ascended, whichever one you want to call it. If you look at all the different aspects of this game, the adventuring, the way that you can use the pals, that type of thing, it's way more one-to-one Ark than it is Pokemon. And if you go to the technology tree, this might as well have been called Ingram's. It works out the exact same way as it does in Ark. So I don't know why people are missing this comparison, but it's definitely way more Ark than it is Pokemon. Before I get too much deeper into comparisons, I'd like to talk a little bit about value. And this game is only $30. So it depends on how you value that 30 bucks. I mean, if you need food, buy food. But if you have disposable 30 bucks, you could do a lot worse. You could spend $70 on a crappy AAA title that was promised to be the next best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Starfield. And then it comes out and it's a hot freaking mess. Now, this game has its issues, and they are being worked on. Like, I can see them being worked on. And in fairness, Starfield has been worked on, but it was still kind of a crappy game. So, kind of take that with a grain of salt. For me, I'm trying to get, about $2 an hour worth of enjoyment. And at 15 hours, I've got my $30. If you guys wanted to go a little bit and be harder core, then you want $1, or you want 50 cents, and you want to get that much more bang for your buck, the possibility is there with this. There's so much to explore, so many different creatures to discover, so many different things to do, that you're going to lose yourself in this game. I can compare it a little bit at this point to No Man's Sky, because even in early access, this has so much to do. And I'm pretty impressed by that, if I'm being honest. The last comparison I'm going to make today is going to be kind of out of left field, but it's to a little game called Valheim. Now, Valheim, and this is going to be on two different fronts for me, by the way, because one good, one bad. Valheim kind of changed the way a survival game worked for me, because if you didn't eat in Valheim, it didn't kill you. It just made you weak enough where if you go out and a fly farts on you, you're dead. Palworld works basically the same way. It'll take you all the way down to 1 HP, and if you don't see it, you go out in the wild, literally one little tap and you're gone. You can moderate this with different foods that give you different amounts of food, and your pals also have to eat. So kind of a cool mechanic in the way that they incorporated it, and it really, really reminded me of Valheim. Now, the other thing that it reminds me of in Valheim is the part that scares me the most. And that is back in 2020 when Valheim came out, this game, and yes, it was right during the pandemic, so lots of people were online playing video games, but Valheim was a smash hit. Sold I don't know how many copies in its first week, but you starting to ring a bell? Pretty similar, right? Well, this game scares me on that front because the developers of Valheim had all that success, got all this quick money, and they made big promises about coming out. Here's our roadmap. We've got 4 updates coming out in the first year. And guess how many updates came out in the first year? 0. None. And I think they just panicked. They didn't know what to do. They were a small development team, and I don't think they ever recovered from that. I think they lost a lot of their player base, and this is definitely a possibility of something that can happen with Palworld. So I'm very cautiously optimistic at this point because I'm already seeing some pretty big patches, mostly bug patches at this point. They're not going to be adding anything, I don't think, for a while. They're going to try to get the main game running, and Valheim did the same. But I want to see what the developers here come out and say about Palworld and the roadmap they've got going forward before I make my ultimate decision. But as for now, it's definitely worth looking into if you guys want to play a really fun game. I could beat down the door of all the different bugs and things that are going on in the game right now and things they could have done better, but literally this game's been out for 2 weeks. So I kind of want to just give them some time to continue to patch and fix bugs as they become more prevalent. And they've done that already. There was a big patch just this week, and I'm pretty happy with the patch. There's still work to be done, though. It is early access. And again, I don't want to poke the bear while they still are pretty new to this. So let's give them some time, and we'll kind of figure that out as we go. I don't foresee me making long-term Palworld content just because I don't want to fall into that trap of chasing the next thing and having to be the first one to get it out just for views. I like more finding stuff off the beaten path, kind of telling a story of how you get from point A to point B, and that's just more my style. But there may be a few here and there that I kind of feel something a certain way about and make that video. And don't worry, we will get back to No Man's Sky stuff as soon as there's something that I'm really into covering, and that's probably coming up here in the next few weeks because I'm pretty sure there'll be an update. And also, don't forget about the Survival Sunday series, just a chill stream. Come say hi and have fun with me. It's not a real active game. It doesn't happen real fast. But it's such a fun game. I think you guys will really enjoy it. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Good to be back. We'll see you soon. Bye.